All right. Good morning. As I said, I'm not going to be in class today, so thank you very much for. So we're going to work on this handout today. Now, a couple of things. This package overall here, that's what we're going to use in terms of our geometry section. Okay. Now, this lesson here, they call it right side relationship of right angles. Now, some of you might recognize this equation here. Yes, this equation or this name is also known, like this idea is also known as the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, the Pythagorean theorem. Now, the reason why I want to make sure you guys learn this is because this is a quite an important concept, and I think it is a good thing that you guys are learning here, Pythagorean theorem. But also another thing is that it also teaches you some vocabularies that you will need to know next year when you are learning about trigonometry. Okay, so when you're learning trigonometry, you will use some words that I think this will be a good starting point. Okay, so you have a triangle here. This is a right angle triangle, so you have a 90-degree angle in between. And as you can see here, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This is really talking about the relationship of the two shorter side of the right angle triangle, the side that is touching forms a 90 degree, and this longer side here. Okay, this longer side here. This longer side here, it's called the hypotenuse. Okay, hypotenuse. And the shorter side, A and B, now different textbook call it different things. On this handout, they call it arms of the triangles, but some textbook call them legs, okay? Because they're keeping the thing standing up, okay? So essentially, using this formula, you can basically use it to find the side of any missing length as long as you have two of them. Okay, so as long as you have A and B or A and C or B and C, as long as you have two out of three of these sides, you can use this relationship to find out the length of the third side. Okay, so this is quite important. So let's do this question here. So if two arms of a right triangle have a length of 5 centimeters squared, 5 centimeter and 12 centimeter, how long is the hypotenuse? Okay, so keep in mind the hypotenuse is always the long side here. So for us, we're talking about a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Your a could be 5 and b could be 12. Either way, that is fine, as long as you have either 5 squared here and 12 squared here. Whether you have 12 first or 5 first, it doesn't matter at all. Okay, so we're going to plug the number in. 5 squared and 12 squared. You notice that I put the bracket and the 5 inside the bracket and then squared. Okay, equals c squared. Okay, so you can use your calculator and solve that, but 5 squared, 5 times 5 is 25. Now, 12 squared will be 144. Okay, so c squared. Now, when you add these two together, you would have 169 equals c squared. Okay. I'm kind of running out of room, so I'm going to continue here. So if I want to just find out what 1c is, okay, so let me just move this expression the other way around, just flip it. Okay. Now, and I'm flipping an equation, everything on this side will go here and everything on this side go here. The sign doesn't change. It's almost the same thing as if I just rotate the paper itself. Okay, the sign doesn't change. So right now, I just want to find out what 1c is. I don't care c squared, I just want to find 1c is. Now, if you might recall, we have learned a symbol here, square root. Okay, square root again is the opposite of squaring a number. Okay, so when you're square rooting c squared, okay, you do that. So you will square root both sides of the equation. Okay, just like so in this case here, when you square rooting c squared, you just have c because that's the opposite operation. Now, square root of 169, square root 169 on my calculator, this here, that's a square root 169. That will give me 13. Okay, so in this case here, my hypotenuse of a triangle that have, let's just say 5 and 12 here, my hypotenuse would be 13 centimeters. Okay, hypotenuse. Okay, so let me just do a quick recap. When I'm reading this question, I realize, oh, the two arms is 5 and 12. So I just make sure that 5 goes, let's just say, becomes A and 12 becomes B. It doesn't matter the order. I plug in the value, I square both sides, and then add up together. Now, to get 1 squared, what I need to do is I will need to square root both sides. Square rooting, remember, is the opposite operation of squaring a number. So square root c squared will give you just c. Square root of 169 will give you 13. Okay, so that's 13 centimeters. Now, sometimes you will have two arms or two legs of the triangle and you're looking for the hypotenuse. Sometimes you will have it the other way around. So for this example here, if the hypotenuse of the right triangle is a length of 25 and one of its arms has a length of 7, how long is the other arm? So let's draw the quick diagram, sketch it. So you have 25 centimeter here and you have 7 centimeter here. So what you could do is this. Let's just say this is my b squared, okay? So a squared plus b squared equals c squared, okay? So let's just say 7 is my a. So in this case, 7 squared plus b squared. We don't know what b is. So, oh yeah, I don't need to square here. We don't know what b is, so I'll just leave it as b. And c we know is 25, so it's 25 squared like this. Now we just plug the numbers into calculators. 7 times 7, it gives you 49, plus b squared. We don't know what b squared is, so we'll leave it as that. And 25 squared, 25 times 25, that gives you 625. Okay. Now, right now, we just need to isolate b squared. So we'll subtract 49 from both sides. 49, subtract 49 here, that will become 0. So you only have b squared left. 625 minus 49. This will be 576. 576. So b squared is 576. We don't care what b squared is, we just want 1b. So we'll square root both sides. Okay. Square root of b squared is just b. Now square root of 576. Again, my calculator can be slightly different from yours, so it's important for you to learn how to use it. It happens to be 24. So what it means is that this side that we don't know what the length is actually 24 centimeters. Okay? So that's pretty much it in terms of the Pythagorean theorem. in terms of calculating this here. Now, down here, this note, they call these Pythagorean triplets. Basically, when people were starting to kind of working with different kind of right angle triangle and trying to find a relationship between the hypotenuse and the two arms or two legs, what they noticed was this. They noticed that these combinations of numbers, would give you whole numbers. Okay, so if one side is 3, the other side is 4, the hypotenuse would be 5. If one side is 5, if one arm is 5, one other arm is 12, the hypotenuse is 13. Okay, so they notice these kind of patterns. Okay, so this is what we call Pythagorean triplets. So this is just a quick explanation in terms of what it means here. You can try them out using Pythagorean theorem to test whether that is true or not. Like, for example, just add 8 squared plus 15 squared. Let's see if that would give you the same number as 17 squared. Okay, so you can try that out. What I will want you guys to do today, for after you watching this video, is I have some questions here. So I'm gonna take a picture of this page here. I will want you guys to calculate the missing length of all these 4 triangles. Okay, all these 4 triangles, and I can talk about some of the more complex stuff tomorrow on Friday when I'm in. Okay, I hope this works well. Do watch it again if you are not sure, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Bye now.